Alright, so this is the Cabin Chat workshop. We also did this at the overnight training, so if you weren't at overnight, this is what you missed. How we did it at overnight is we kind of got in a big circle. We talked about what Cabin Chat was, kind of went through some tips and tricks to get through it if you're a little bit nervous, especially if it's your first time going to camp. And then we did our own cabin chats with smaller groups, which is going to be a little bit difficult since, we're not in person. But mainly, we just want everyone to know that cabin chat is a time for our kids to share. And a lot of the times, it can go from being super, super happy and just a laughter fest, or it can be a little bit of a vulnerable and a little chaotic experience for kids. So, awesome. So we're just going to get started. So what we did first is we did a cabin chat brainstorming session, and we kind of like went through, especially some of the older counselors and stuff went through and talked about what kinds of cabin chats they've done in the past. There is a suggested cabin chat questions handout that you are more than welcome to ask us for. There's a bunch of questions here that are really good, especially if you're a newer counselor and kind of being thrown into the unit leader position. Here are some great resources for you. If you need them, just ask us for it and we'll send you a link. So yeah, these are some of the ideas that we came up with. Obviously, it's the cabin chat question handout. The friendship bracelets with a twist, this is a kind of thing that, especially with the older units, some of the campers really enjoy doing. So instead of going around in a circle in order, you can kind of jump across, the circle, and whoever shares will just wrap a piece of yarn around their hand, and they'll throw the giant section of yarn to the next person, and every time someone shares, it's just kind of like a big family bracelet thing, which is super fun. You can go on a trust walk, stargazing, anything you guys kind of want to do. And this is kind of when we talked about different ways of managing their cabin chats and stuff. This is like more specific for the unit leaders or whoever is going to be kind of leading the cabin chats at night. But there are 10 kind of tips that we want to go through with you guys. The first one is just remember the goal. Camp Kesem, we don't do group therapy, so this is more of a time for being group cohesive and supporting everyone who's sharing their experiences with cancer and just experiences in their lives and stuff like that. It doesn't always have to be about cancer, but just remember that we are not therapists, so it's not a time to process feelings and explore them. It's just kind of a time to express how we're feeling and just to know that everyone's in a safe place and things like that. Second one is to make it comfortable for them. Just make sure that this is a safe place. They are allowed to share, whatever they need, unless obviously you are concerned about their safety, that you will have to tell someone. But that was covered in another training. But just making sure that everyone is, feeling comfortable with what they're sharing. Don't force anyone to share. This is about what they feel comfortable doing. So. Time constraints. This is also really important. Some kids can talk and talk and talk forever. The best way to do this is this line right here. I use this all the time, but we only have 30 minutes to share, which means each person has about 2 minutes. If you are going over your 2 minutes, I will make this signal, and you can just kind of make it kind of simple so that no one else knows that they're getting, they're going over their time, and that just tells them that they need to wrap things up, just to make sure that we have enough time for everyone to share. This is, after all the daily activities and stuff, and everyone's getting ready to go to bed. So we do have a curfew that campers need to be in bed by, so just making sure that everyone gets to share within that time frame. Using a talking prop, that's super good too. Last year we had talking sticks that we had made, and it just helped making sure that, especially with the younger kids, because when someone's talking, they feel like they have to interject, they'll do it. So just making sure that they have a talking stick so they're being respectful of everyone who's speaking. Being a role model. So, adding your thoughts and experiences. You are more than welcome to talk during cabin chat as well, as long as it's inappropriate. Um, so, this is really important, especially during when you're talking to campers. No counselor should share about past abuse, suicidal ideation, or self-harm. So, this is the time for, there's a time and a place for that. If you have any of these things going on, you're more than welcome to talk to the MHP about it, but not during cabin chats. That's a time for our campers to share. Cabin chats, this is all about the kiddos, camp is for the kids. So making sure that campers are getting their time. And a lot of times when you get newer campers, they don't really feel comfortable sharing, but if they see you share something, being a little bit vulnerable, like they'll open up, but keep it appropriate. Acknowledging sharing, and it's really important that once kids share, you say thank you for sharing that with us. Obviously, don't go into detail unless they want to have a one-on-one conversation with you. Just say thank you so much for sharing that with us. Like, you're so strong, yada yada. Especially, okay, this one is super important, especially when it's kind of getting a little bit more intense. Silence is okay. You don't have to fill every second of every minute with talking during a cabin chat. So if there is a little bit of silence, sometimes people just need a little time to breathe. That's okay. No, don't worry about it. All kids show emotion differently. So this is super true. For one kid, crying is a nice relief. For others, the vulnerability can be very uncomfortable. That's how I am. When I'm feeling vulnerable or upset, I start laughing hysterically. So, all kids are different. Just make sure that you're acknowledging that they're sharing and just give them what they need. Keeping things positive. We want our campers to look forward to cabin chat. This is their time to express how they're feeling. We want them to feel like sharing is good, and we don't want them to, feel like they can't tell us anything. The most important part of this is ending on a positive note. So always end with like a cinnamon roll hug, some type of funny story, tell a joke, anything, as long as it's an appropriate joke, don't go overboard. And lastly, just with anything, with being a counselor at all during the week, get help if you need it. If you are feeling uncomfortable and it's your first time leading a cabin chat and you want someone from admin or any of like the older counselors or anything to come in and help you, it's totally fine. You can talk to any of these people. We're all here to help you, so don't feel like you can't ask. But that's pretty much it for this part of the cabin chat training. If you have any questions, please let us know. If you want the suggested cabin chats question sheet, please reach out to us. We can send you a link for that. But other than that, that's it.